I'm going to start recording all this. So, so I just started recording, and and somebody else must be on the phone too. Who else is on the phone with us?
Yeah, Cliff is here. That's the 609 number.
Okay, hi Cliff. Did you hear what we were just talking about?
No, I just got on the second.
Okay, well we were discussing whether the timing of this call as far as 9 o'clock at night on a Wednesday makes sense, and that appears to be a good time. But what people, and I kind of feel the same way myself. We set it on this third Wednesday because that was a time that Gloria and Andrew could make it with us. But for us, I really think that we are better if we do it maybe the first Wednesday of the month. So would that make sense for if instead we're going to say, so it would be Wednesday the 6th of May? Would be
Works for me.
Does that work for everybody?
I think so, yeah.
All right, so I'll send out kind of an announcement for everybody because it is. That way it's the beginning of the month. We can celebrate, although it's really cool because I just jumped on to the My Office in Motion to see what's going on. And one of the things that I saw was that somebody we were going to celebrate getting to see senior coach just hit manager, right, Cliff?
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want to tell the group? Because actually, that was one of the things I wanted you to talk about is what you're doing with Ajani. And because I think we all have these opportunities to work with people who have gyms or health clubs and stuff. So if you wouldn't mind, can you maybe tell us the story of how this came to be?
Sure. And by the way, he is traveling to Philly right now, so he may not be able to get on the call.
Okay.
Well, he had cold called me, coming into my office looking to develop a chiropractic relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And I, in speaking with him, I started to ask him questions about, his results, etc. And I asked him, does he have a nutritional program in place? And they had a kind of a supplement type of plan where people can purchase these supplements, etc. And said, are people really using them? He goes, nah, not really. And I took a look at what it was. Actually, I took a look beforehand because when I knew I was going to meet with him, I looked at his website.
Okay.
And I could see that they really didn't have a nutritional program in place.
Sorry
so we started talking, and over the course of a few meetings, I kind of dripped on him information, and on the second or third meeting, we really connected. He was a very goal-oriented guy. His dream, he owns 3 gyms. His dream was to own 10. And with 3 gyms, he basically has not much of a life, running constantly, putting out fires. Exactly the story that you hear about, when you hear these people who just are totally consumed with their work, and they really do not have a life.
Right.
So as I started to explain to him, he became fascinated by the concept, and we brought him down. He purchased 2 weeks worth of food, I think. And we were going to start the coaching process first, but for a few different reasons, he wasn't able to get it going. And then I said, you know what, coming down to Annapolis, do you have an interest in going down to, I'll drive you down. And his answer was, why would I not do that? Are you kidding me? Of course. Came down to Annapolis. Unfortunately, we had an 8-hour ride going back. And his experience, it was a very fortunate thing because what we ended up doing on the whole ride back was really planning out where things were going to go. And he just saw the vision of having every single trainer in all of his 3 gyms becoming coaches.
Mm-hmm.
So what happened is we ended up connecting with Casey Mitchell out in Portland. I'd heard him speak, and Casey was very generous to meet, do a couple of Zoom calls with myself first, and then with myself and Ajani and Casey. And he really went through how he started to integrate this into his business, which is, it's a lengthy kind of thing. But you can add, he gives that story on one of the Team Global audios. If you go to Team Global webinars and there's an audio, you'll hear JC doing a call with him. Anyway, so he gave us some interest, some advice, very, very nice. And then we decided we were going to do a kind of a group presentation to his trainers. And Dr. A was nice enough to do like a 15-minute presentation in the middle of my presentation, which was really great. And then we set up a couple of meetings, a couple of presentations, program presentations in his 2 gyms. So the thought was, all these guys are going to jump on board, and ladies are going to jump on board, become coaches, and everything will work out just great. And Johnny, he saw, he's the owner, he does personal training as well, and he just saw this perfect opportunity, became senior coach in his first month, got his cab bonus, just everything the way it should have been. And now it's in the middle of this month. Like we said, he's a manager, halfway through. But what's happened is that we're getting some pushback from the trainers. See, it's amazing the opportunity that this can be for them, and they're witnessing Johnny's success. Not only that, he only has clients who've been on the program for a month. He's got pictures of them, on a board in the gym, which is really attracting a lot of attention, a lot of interest. So he's getting a ton of clients. And as a matter of fact, we did a presentation at one of his gyms, and 4 people signed up right on the spot. And they were clients of one of his trainers who isn't jumping on board to be a coach. And he said, you could have been senior coach in a day, one day. So the challenge has been for us is getting his coaches on board. And what seems to be the issue is that they seem to be prohibited by the $200 startup fee. And I think what I have realized is that these people, they certainly understand. We gave a great business presentation. They see the big picture, where this can go. They see Johnny, having this turn into something big. But a lot of these traders, they're really struggling with money, which is all the more reason why it would be wonderful for them to be correct.
Yes.
So what I realized what we did a group presentation, but really what we need to really do is one-on-one he wants them to be coaches. He would love, he sees a huge picture, but do these people necessarily, what do they want? So just like we would profile any other person, the mistake we made was really doing a group presentation rather than meeting individually with each coach afterwards and then finding out what their why is. So that's kind of the tack we're taking right now.
Okay.
On the other side of the coin, while our vision was to really get all these people on board, as coaches, which is it's just really kind of interesting because oftentimes the challenge is getting the gym owner to buy into Take Shape for Life. So here we have the gym owner totally buying into Take Shape for Life and wanting every single coach, trainer to be a coach. But what we're going to be doing is meeting with them each one-on-one and then doing it just like we've had, so we can tie into what their why is, make it about them, have them see the big picture, and then hopefully we'll be able to move forward. What Casey said from Portland was, don't be surprised if you're going to notice this taking shape over the course, no pun intended, over the course of about a year. That you may notice that you may get 10, 20% people signing, coaches going on board at first. And then what's going to happen, it's a natural progression. They're going to see the success that other coaches have.
Right.
And they're going to want to do the same thing. And he said, what will happen is which is what happened with the Mitzels, is that they create a new culture. And certain people will kind of select themselves to kind of not be on the team anymore because their goals won't really fit in with how the rest of the gym is functioning. So the expectation is over time, more coaches will come on. Anybody coming in to the gym it'll be understood that they're going to be health coaches as well, which is, that's grounds for working in this gym. You're going to be a personal trainer, and you will also be working as a health coach and explaining, we'll be explaining the results. The amazing thing is what I learned from all this is that people come into a gym, 90% of them come in to lose weight.
Yeah.
And the one thing that the gym can't offer is a great way to lose weight. They've trained them to death, and they're thrilled if someone loses 10 pounds in a year. And the people who Johnny signed up for them on the weekend, all these 4 people, they were coming to the gym for 4 years, 6 years, 3 years with very minimal results. And this is the perfect marriage of the nutritional piece with the exercise piece, because even if there's a trainer who's very well versed in nutrition, what they're going to do is create a very complex macronutrient plan, calorie based, that the people are not going to follow. And we can see right away that the people are there. They want this, they need it, and they're just signing up right and left. So our challenge is just getting the rest of the coaches on board, and then it's going to be something wonderful.
But I'm so glad you shared this story with us all, because I think that there are so many opportunities like this out there, but knowing, we go in expecting one thing, and then, when you said, but you're getting pushback from some of the trainers because they don't have the $200, and another coach who has Linda Stiles, who has a gym owner. The gym owner is the one having the hard time dealing with like packaged food, yet I guarantee she's selling supplements and things of that sort that are packaged. They're prepared. They're not natural things. So, getting that pushback is something that we really should expect. And I think you hit it right on the head, Cliff, when you said you got to do this. You got to do one-on-ones with them, because
right.
They need to understand what it is, what they'd like their training business to be like, what they'd like it to bring to them, or what their goals are. So you can really tie it into what we have to offer. So anybody else have other questions for Cliff? Just,
one just comment, piggyback on that is that Casey Mitchell, when he was presented with this, he felt exactly the same thing. What, packaged foods, we have all these, they came from a totally different place, and they realized, with all their wonderful plans, people weren't getting results.
Right. And that's every gym owner I've ever spoken to, that's exactly what it is. They say, oh, well, they're building muscle, that's why they're not losing weight. It ain't so.
And all these people in the gym, they're all talking to other people. It's because they're all in the same environment. People are looking, what are you doing? Wow, I didn't know that. How do you like that? Oh, you look great. So one person, his first client, is now like a walking billboard and just talking to everybody in the gym. So that from Linda's, the resistant gym owner, just like the trainers don't know what they're missing in a Johnny situation, this guy has no idea what he's missing.
Yeah. But I just thought this was a great story to share. And Johnny just hit manager already, and it's halfway through the month. So there's obviously tremendous opportunity there. So we'll and we'd love to hear from him. Maybe, if we can get him on the phone next week in May when we do the call. That would be great. And maybe we'll reach out and I'll talk to him before that, just so he can be prepared. All right, perfect. And then I did a couple things I wanted to share. We didn't do our little celebrations, but we have a new executive director on the call. Jane, do you want to say hello? And
Hello.
this is Jane Wenhold on Nancy's team. Hi.
Hi.
And Jane, what happened? What like flipped the switch for you to make? And what did you have to do this last month to achieve that?
I think what helped me was going to New York to the training there, and then realizing that, wow, I really could do this.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually signed up a coach. One of my clients became a coach, and she became senior coach within a week. And
Great.
that just catapulted me right in there. So, yeah, I'm excited. So I get to go Global.
And you're going, right?
I'm going.
Good. So this will be your first time. You're going to be in for such a treat.
Yeah, I'm
So,
excited.
yeah, there's going to be a lot going on.
Very cool.
You'll come home. If you thought the super regional up in New York was great,
Mm-hmm.
wait. Just you're going to have your socks blown off.
Yeah, I'm so excited. Can't wait. I'm already ready to pack.
So Jane reached ED in March, and Amy is it Koenig or Koenig?
Koenig.
What is
Koenig.
it? Koenig.
Koenig.
All right. I always have a hard time with that name.
Yeah, me too.
She's the one who reached senior coach, and then we have a couple of other people who hit. Carol Hallahan, one of Nancy's other coaches, made associate director last month, so she's
Right.
well on her way as well. Ajani just hit manager. Nancy had another coach, Christy Kosick, hit senior coach, and who else? And Emily Robinson, who surprised Nancy by driving up from West Virginia, I think it is.
Yes.
When Nancy had her last kind of open house, at her place, she just became a coach. So, she just got started as a coach. So I'm excited. Lots of stuff happening over there.
Yeah, Nancy's team's on fire. Woo!
It is on fire. I'll tell you, that Italian girl. So,
Yeah.
So we'll have parties out in it's Tucson, I think is where we're going.
Tucson.
I'm telling you, Arizona, it's all one place for me. Scottsdale, Phoenix, Tucson, it's all the same. But a couple things. One of the things that Dr. Anderson shared with everybody on Team Global, and I think is something that we're going to learn about at Go Global. We're going to learn more about is the book that's called. Let me just get back so I can make sure you can see this. It's called The Speed of Trust, and I know some of you have already read it. If not, you might want to pick up a copy of it. It's by Stephen Covey's son, so it's Stephen M.R. Covey, and it's really it's amazing. What it talks about is that people don't think trust is an important thing in business necessarily. It's not. They think it's a soft thing to have. We trust each other, or my clients trust me, or whatever. But what they find is that it really does, accelerate business growth when there's a trust environment. The projects get done faster, that there are fewer, screw ups, that they get results much, much faster when there's that trust. So it really does apply to what we do with our clients and with our coaches and everything else. So it's, I'm only about halfway through, but I'll finish it up on the plane. And then I just wanted to share too that I had a call with Dr. Anderson and Lori on Monday, I guess, of this week, and just talking about where we're going, the growth that I see happening in the team, and I see it in a bunch of different places. So I think that there was a cycle we went through where there were problems with the economy. There were just all kinds of things happening kind of at once. And I think we saw a lull, a lot of people in their business. And I see us coming out of that. I mean, because I can see from the top down what's going on. I can see it. And Dr. Anderson also says that he sees this happening across the company. But one of the books that he gave me, because he knows, and most of you know, that I went through a rough couple of years with going through the divorce and everything else, and kind of getting resettled and restarted. And he suggested a book, and I would guess that this might be one of the books that he will be suggesting for the future. Maybe not at Go Global, but I always like to give us a head start. And I just got it. It's called Today I Begin a New Life. And some of you may have already read this. So it's Today I Begin a New Life, and it's by Dave Blanchard. It looks like this. And I'll tell you, he took over. Og Mandino was a tremendous inspirational writer. You know, he wrote The Greatest Salesman in the World. And this Dave Blanchard heads up the Og Mandino group and published this book, and then he's done videos and all that kind of stuff. But so this really talks about, you know, sometimes when you come to that lull in your life, or when things seem really, really bad, or you're struggling and you just kind of can't get out of your way, or things happen to you, how do you break out of that and look at a new start, that today, you know, I begin a new life? And one of the things that's in here is a link to his site, to a site called Intentional Creator. I think it's Intentional Creator or Intentional Creations. I'll put it on our group thing. But if you go to ogmandino.com, you can probably find it. But there was an assessment that you could take for free called the Intentional Creator or Intentional Creation Assessment. And it seemed really strange. I did it. It's only 2 questions, and you put a list of statements in order from what you think is the most important, or what you agree with the most, to what you disagree with the most. And then it gives you results about your inner world and how you view the outer world. And I thought, this is just such a weird, I work with assessment tools. I'd never seen anything like this. But when I got my results, I was blown away. And then you can also purchase an in-depth, that's a summary. They give you a summary result, which was still crazy accurate. Like, I had no idea how they got what they got from how I work statements. So I bought for an extra $40 or whatever. I bought the full summary, and so I got it, and I listened to some of the comments that they said. It's eye-opening, because it makes you stop and see, and you put these things in this order. So this is how you viewed things. It really gave you some hints that you may, things that you should listen to when you hear yourself saying things, or when you see yourself responding in a certain way to things. So it really, and then gives you some suggestions that if you see yourself doing this, or if you hear yourself saying something like this, that's a sign that you're kind of off kilter in that one aspect or that one area. So it was, I know I'm being very vague about it, but I really would suggest that you maybe even go online first and try to take this assessment, because it's, and then if you decide you want to get the full summary, they give you the book for free. Well, it's not for, you pay $44, and you get the book, because the book is a $20 book. It comes for that. So it might be something worth considering. So I will put that information, the link to that, on the website. At least go and take the free one, because I think it might open your eyes about some of your interactions with people, or how you relate, or how you react in certain situations. So I thought it was good, and I really wanted to pass it along to everybody. And since Dr. Anderson said to me, go out and get this book, I was like, all right. So if he says it, I do it.
Hey, Joan?
Yes.
I wanted to thank Norma for putting together that reading list of everybody's favorites.
Oh, good. And does this happen to be on there? I haven't looked for.
No, I don't know. I didn't look at that. That's interesting. But she put the document on your website, on the Global Marshall.
Well, I will make sure that I either download it and make the change to it, or ask Norma to, if she may be the one who has to do it, if she put it up there, to add this onto the list, because I really think it's a worthwhile And I'm only about probably a quarter of the way through it. And I've also already found some things that are pretty insightful for me. Anybody else have anything else that they want to share with the group? Any success, anything that's really worked great this month, or even any struggle that you'd like some help from somebody with? Anybody? No?
I'd just like to bring up, just remind people of the power of the blended path to ED.
Oh, yeah.
Because it can open up doors to move forward so much faster, and everything can just accelerate it. I'm so glad that the company's moving in that direction.
And I think we forget that sometimes. And I think that might even be hopefully they'll have a class Echo Global about that to help people really better understand how to help the coaches achieve that ED through that blended path. I mean, and the same thing applies that if you're looking to get to, regional director, national director, global director, you really, there are so many different ways to get people to executive director, to help them get there, to help you achieve what you want to achieve as well, too. That's a good point, Cliff.
Thank you.
All right, so we're going to be changing our monthly team meeting. We're going to do, the next one is going to be May the 6th. So we're going to go to the first Wednesday of every month instead. But we're going to leave it at 9 o'clock. So I want to just say I've seen such growth in these last 2 months. I've seen our group volume increase. I've seen new people coming on board. I've seen new people, so many people hitting new ranks. So there's definitely some enthusiasm going on there. And usually April's a good month. May is a great month, getting people started before the summer comes on board. So if you're thinking of if you're going to convention, and I hope everybody's going to convention. If you're going to convention, especially if you're an ED, you want to try to maintain that for the next 2 months. So that you make sure that you get invited to, everything that's open to executive director and above it at convention. When you're going to go global, we know everybody's executive director. They've reached that. But with convention, you have to actually hit it I think 2 out of 3 months before convention in order to go to some of the ED events. So you make that a goal to maintain that if you've hit it. Okay. Anybody else have any other questions, or we can wrap it up for tonight? It's 9:31, so that's perfect timing. Anybody else have anything that you want to add or share with the group? No? All right, everybody. Well, I can't wait to see some of you out in Arizona, and then talk to you again on May 6th. And again, I want to encourage you. Dr. Anderson's my coach. I reach up to him when I'm struggling or I need some help, or so I think I have to do everything myself, and I don't. So I just really want to encourage everybody to reach up if I can help you, and it doesn't matter what way. Cliff, you're really good at reaching out, and I may not be as good as getting back to you as right away.
Don't worry about it. You're fine.
I do eventually get back to you. It just may not be right away. But yeah, I would encourage you to reach up for support. Don't think, go up to your whoever your mentor is. Reach up to them. They want to help. They are invested in helping you any way they can. So never feel like you're letting somebody down or you're bothering them. None of that stuff. Just really take advantage of the tremendous group that we have here and all this knowledge. So, all right, everybody, good night. I will talk to you soon, and see you in Arizona.
Night.
Bye. Good night.
Good night.